السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. وصلى الله وسلم وبارك على نبينا Muhammad وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين أما بعد. I mentioned many times in many videos that my Quran teacher here in the Mahad, here in the Arabic Institute, here in the Islamic University of Al-Madinah, that he is, subhanAllah, he is a man, may Allah Azza wa Jal bless him and reward him tremendous with khair. Because every single lesson, he gives us something يعني ذهبية, something of gold to take home. And I don't mean homework. Rather, he gives us something that renews our iman, that inspires us, that motivates us in regards to always connected to the Quran Kareem, because he's the Quran teacher. Today was no different. Barakallahu feekum. Today was no different. Rather, he gave us another gem. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward him with khair azim, with tremendous good. He mentioned that there was a student here in the doctorate program. He reached the level of the PhD, and he was close to graduating. Maybe a year and a half left until he finished his studies here, getting his PhD in the Islamic University of Madinah, in the college actually of the Quran. And I believe the student was from America. He didn't actually mention where he was from, but from the context, I believe that he was from the West, maybe Canada, the United States. So this individual, his parents were not here, of course. His parents were in their home country, whether that be Canada or United States. And his father was a Muslim. His father actually was Muslim, but not practicing at all. His mother was a Christian, was an actual Christian, didn't claim to be Muslim. She was an actual total Christian. And they were married. His father and his mother, mashallah, they were married, even though his father actually was a Muslim, even though it was only by name. So after being here for perhaps 10 years, the brother, going back every summer to visiting and giving the rights to his family, his father said, I want to come visit you. I want to come visit you. So, of course, the student here is living off campus, as he's here with his wife and his children. So he says to his father, yeah, come. You can come and visit and stay for a couple months. And so he comes. Mind you, he doesn't really know the situation of his father. He knows his father isn't really religious, but he doesn't know how ignorant, and I say that not in a disrespectful way, really meaning how uneducated he is about Islam. So he would become shortly to find out about that. So he would come, when his father came, he noticed that his father would never come with him to the prayer. And he said, Father, why don't you, come with me? He says, I'll come with you, later on, always pushing it off. Finally got to the point where he says to his son, take me to this place that you go and pray. He didn't even know what the place was called. He didn't even know it was called a masjid. He says, this place that you go to pray, I want to come with you. So he begins to go with him on a daily basis. Goes and goes and goes. So at one point, they miss the prayer in the jama'ah. So they pray at home. The son is leading the prayer. Well, rather, he tells his father, out of respect, Father, lead the prayer. The father turns and says to him, my son, I don't even know how to pray. He says, you don't know how to pray? He says, I don't even know how to pray. He says, but you've been going to the masjid. He said, honestly, I've been going, but I don't know how to pray. I'm just looking at the other people. He was amazed. This is his father. He never, he never knew that. He didn't even know the basics of the prayer and the basics of Islam in regards to the name of the place that you go to even pray. So, he said, teach me how to pray. Asking his son, teach me how to pray. So he began to teach him the prayer, teach him, the Surah Al-Fatiha to the end of it. To the point that now the father would go to the masjid and beat his son to the masjid. He had this love, he had this desire to go to the masjid and to pray with the Muslimin there, mashallah, tabarakallah. After a couple weeks, he's still here in Saudi Arabia. He says to his son, teach me the Quran. I want to be able to read and memorize the Quran. So he says, subhanallah. So he begins to teach him the alphabet. Within 2 weeks, his father was reading the Quran by himself. They're not Arabic. He never studied Arabic. He doesn't have no background. 2 weeks ago, he didn't know how to pray. Within 2 weeks, he's able to read the Quran by himself. He's able to read the Quran by himself. He then said to his son, this thing that you do when you go to this black box, meaning the Kaaba. He says, I want to go there with you. He says, I want to go there with you. I want to go on Hajj. I want to do the pilgrimage. His son, when the time came for Hajj, took his father on Hajj. After they finished the Hajj, his father went back to the country. The son, the student here in Medina, gets a phone call from his mother. Mind you, his mother's a Christian. She said to him, what did you do with your father? He's a total different man. He's respectful. He's not cursing. He prays. As soon as the time comes for the prayer, he's going out praying. He became such a better man in every aspect. He's more generous. He's more caring. He's more loving. He's better mannerisms. He's better in every aspect that you can think of. He says, I didn't do anything. Rather, it was Islam. Mind you, now he's using this to give da'wah to his mother. His mother said, whatever you did with him, I want to do. She said, I want to come to Saudi Arabia, to Medina. He said, mother, you're not really allowed to come here unless you accept Islam. She said, I want to accept Islam. If this changed your father, then I want to change. She ended up accepting Islam, I believe maybe over the phone. Within a couple months, she came to Saudi Arabia. The same thing occurred. He taught her the prayer. He taught her how to read the Quran. She also went on Hajj with him. They went back, and now the whole family structure is different. They're praying together, learning together, living together. My teacher, may Allah reward him, he says, this is what happens when a person is sincere. When they really want to learn. This man was maybe 70 years old, maybe 60 years old. No background, nothing, came here. Islam, he was a Muslim, but Islam really penetrated his heart at that time. And he decided to really become religious, really become diligent in regards to praying, and then wanting to learn, and then actually acting upon that knowledge when he returned it back to his country. Likewise, his mother, when she's seen the effect, when she's seen how her husband, this man's father, changed, it entered her to accept Islam, to the point that she accepted Islam, came to Saudi Arabia, to Medina, learned how to pray, learned the reading of the Quran, also went on Hajj, may Allah accept it from them, and then went back, and now the situation is totally different. This shows the blessing of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one upon the student, that he was, inshallah, he was always making dua for his family. And this is from birr walidain. This is from being good to one's parents, that even if they're Muslim, you still make dua for them. And if you're like my case, where your family, they're not Muslim, at least not yet, that you're consistently begging Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to change their heart, to open them up to Islam, to open up their chest to Islam, to guide them to Islam. Look at this beautiful story. This man came here, meaning the student came here, just, I'm going to study Islam and I'm going to do me. And because of this blessed university, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used this as a way for his father to come here and to become religious and to learn how to pray and to learn the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then likewise, the same way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guided his mother, who was a non-Muslim, a kafira, a non-Muslim totally, to accept Islam, to come to Saudi Arabia, to learn the prayer and to learn how to read and recite the Quran al-Kareem. MashaAllah, tabarakallah, this is what happens when a person is sincere, when they work hard, when they are diligent, when they want something. They don't stop until they get it. Fi'l al-asbab. You do that which is required from you, and then you beg Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to aid you with the rest. Ihris ama yunfa'uka wasta'in billah. As the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, work hard, ihris, work hard in that which benefits you, wasta'in billah, and seek aid and support from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is how it is done. You do what you can do. Fi'l al-asbab. You do the actions that is required from you, and then you beg and you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that he aids you in the rest. You're sincere, you're hardworking, you're dedicated, you have a niyyah that is a tayyibah, you have a hadith, you have a goal, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not leave you abandoned. He will not abandon you in your time of need. He will not abandon you in your calling out to him. If you want to do good, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will aid you. Do you think that you will be calling upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wanting to be pious, wanting to be good, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will leave you? Rather, he will help you, but it is upon you that you take the means, that you ask for the help, that you have ikhlas. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, indeed we have sent down this dhikr, we have sent down this remembrance. Who from you will remember? Who is there anybody that will remember? Indeed, this Quran, it is sent down to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Who will take hold of it? Who will yatamassaku bi? Who will hold fast to it? Who will take advantage of it? Who will do these things? It is the person who has a good intention. It is the person who is sincere, that is willing to work hard, willing to do whatever they have to do. If they had to come 7,000 miles away to a country like Saudi Arabia because they seen good actions from their spouse, meaning his mother, then if they can do that, what about you? A person that your family's Muslim, you're Muslim, your family, they have the basic knowledge. If this family can do that, what about you and your family? We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He makes it easy for us and that He gives us ikhlas and tawfiq and barakah. Wallahu a'lam wa sallallahu wa sallam wa baraka ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Walhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.